Hey guys, how's it going? In this FIFA 18 experiment, I'm going to be doing a top team from the 28 nations in FIFA, putting them into a league and seeing how they perform over a season. So you've got teams like Bayern Munich, Man City, PSG, Barcelona, Juventus, some incredible teams, and then you've got other teams that are playing in leagues that aren't as good in theory. So you've got like Malmo, Sydney FC, those sort of teams, Cork City, who play in leagues that aren't as high quality. How will they perform? How will they compare to some of these other teams? And also, in these groups of teams that are not as good, how do they perform against each other? Do they end up doing better than those teams, or do they end up doing worse? You can see the 28 teams in this division, and there's teams from all around the world. So this should be very, very interesting, and hopefully they bring up some interesting results. And the way I've got these teams together into this league is the leading team in the real life league tables currently goes in from that nation, but sometimes there's teams like Corinthians who are leading it, but they don't get in because they're not in the game, and obviously I can't put a team in there if they're not in the game, because that just would be impossible. And then there's other teams that have been put in there based on last year's results. That's probably due to the team or the league not having that many games that have been played in it. They haven't really played that many games, so they can't actually get into the experiments. That would just be stupid. You've played 2 games, you're top of the league, you know what, you're the best team in that league. You can't really say that if you've only played 2 games. So that's why some of the teams in there might not be top right now, but you know, maybe by the end of the season they will be top. We won't know until they finish the season. Anyway, let's start it then. So after the first season, Barcelona at top, 6 points ahead of Man City, Bayern Munich in 3rd place, Paris in 4th, Celtic in 5th, and that is surprising. I mean, Celtic are pretty good in Scotland, but against teams like Juventus, they beat Juventus. Juventus have got a much better squad than Celtics. They have, okay, that's just how it is. And Celtic end up coming 5th, Galatasaray in 7th, Boca Juniors in 8th, Lokomotiv Moscow in 9th, and then Uni de Chile end up coming 10th to make up the top 10. Then you've got quite a few teams there in the same sort of point range, from young boys to Atletico Nacional, who make up that point range of like 35, 36-ish. And then at the bottom half then, in the bottom half we have teams like Sydney, Pohang Steelers and Cork City. Those teams are probably the 3 worst teams. Well, they are 3 worst teams. They come bottom, haven't they, obviously, but compared to some of the other teams, they're miles away from teams like Malmo in 25th place and Brøndby and Jagiellonia. So it's interesting, and that is how the first season has finished. Now in the second season, I get sacked on the 15th of June, so just after the season. I want to get right to the end of the season. This is just before the last game, I think, so I then go a bit further and end up getting a job at Cork City. But unfortunately, a day later, I get sacked again. A day later. Now, a lot of managers these days in real life don't get a lot of time, but one day I got 1 day to turn that club around without playing any matches or anything, and I got sacked. Now that is saying that managers don't have enough time to the extreme. How did I get sacked after 1 day? I mean, in the comment section, do you think that is right? Should you get sacked in management after 1 day? In my opinion, it's a bit unfair. Anyway, we'll move on. I got a job at Accrington Stanley, so that's why you're seeing a league table in this format, because I've had to go into a different window in the game and find it out. But yeah, that was crazy when that happened, and the issue is you get into this vicious cycle where you keep getting sacked because your manager rating goes down to like 8 or 7, and it's really low, so you end up getting sacked constantly, which is very, very annoying. Which means the simulator end of a season, it will take me about a week, not 20 minutes. I'd have to go through every day and constantly get sacked, cycling through the bottom few teams in the game, and it'd be really annoying. But anyway, let's just talk about Season 2. Barcelona win it again, 2nd year running. They have won this league. Bayern Munich in 2nd place. Benfica, a huge improvement from last season. 3rd place, Juventus 4th, Man City 5th, and Paris in 6th. Moscow still do quite well. Al Hilal up in 8th, good season for them. Celtic though, down in 13th place after an incredible season last year. They're down to where they probably should be in 13th place. And then again, a lot of teams on similar points. It drops us quite early though, doesn't it? We've got Uni de Chile who kind of get 31 points and they end up dropping off completely. Usually it'll be down towards the 20s where the points drop off, but this time it's actually 18th place. And now towards the bottom of the table, Malmo, Jagiellonia and Cork City end up being in the bottom 3. Sydney do a bit better. They're 4th from bottom. Pohang Steelers are 5th from bottom. So 2 fairly large improvements in terms of points this season. But the rest seems to be fairly similar to last season. Bruges and Young Boys have struggled though. Anyway guys, that has been the end of this FIFA 18 experiment. I would love to bring you more seasons, but based on the way the game works, where you just can't really control it, I think there's some sort of scripting system in the career mode simulation where it's like, you know what, this team isn't very good compared to, like, if you look at the players they've got, so that means they're not very good, they end up being in this position, and it doesn't matter what you do, you could change tactics or do anything, you will get sacked, it's going to happen. And the issue is your manager rating goes down so low, but you just end up in a vicious cycle where you keep getting sacked, keep getting sacked, keep getting sacked, and it makes the experiment take so much longer to make. Anyway guys, after that, I've shown you 2 seasons, I've done my best, hopefully you appreciate that, and I will see you in the next one.